This is Nameless from Ghost Bath, and you're watching RichardMetalFan.
So what's up, guys? RichardMetalFan here with episode 63 of RichardMetalFan interviews here outside of Zydeco in Birmingham, Alabama, and I'm here with Nameless from Ghost Bath. How are you doing, Nameless?
I'm pretty good, a little warm.
It's fucking hot outside.
It is like 90 degrees, but
Yeah.
I'm all right, though.
All right. So basically, this format is I want to do a quick rundown of your catalog as well as your musical journey from where you started to now. But before we go into that, we're just the first bands that got you into metal. What made you want to play guitar and sing?
In a metal in general, it was probably like System of a Down.
Hey, they're the band that got me into metal, hearing Chop Suey.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, I mean, black metal, the first bands I heard were like Dark Throne and Dimmu Borgir. Then that was when I was in like middle school when I first started playing guitar.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And were you in any bands before starting up Ghost Bath?
Yeah, I was in quite a few. I've been in bands since I was like 12 years old, so like 20 years almost. The band before this was called Eye Apparatus. It was like a noisy hardcore band where we like climbed on shit and didn't wear shoes, and we tried to be like the Chariot or something, you know, just throwing our guitars around and stuff. Yeah.
And then going to 2013, you released your self-titled EP. Was that like something to get like labels' attention?
No, actually, I'd quit making music for a while, and I went back to college, and that was just something I did on the side for fun because I kind of had the itch to make something new, and I just put that together on my own just for fun. So yeah, I wasn't trying to get labels' attention or anything.
Oh, wow. And then going to the debut full-length album, Funeral, in 2014, I'm always curious about why the titles are in Chinese.
We released it on a Chinese label, actually two different Chinese labels. So the first one was on Solitude, the self-titled EP, and then Solitude recommended me to Pest Productions, which is also in China, and he did all the layout and like the title in Chinese and stuff like that.
And one thing I'm curious is the song Afterlife. It's just 66 seconds of silence. Why is that?
I mean, the general concept was there is no afterlife, so I just it's nothing.
It's just nothing.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't even think to think about that. But then the next album, Moonlover, in 2015, a very quick turnaround, because usually when bands release their debut album, you have your whole life to write it. Right? Did you feel like pressured to follow up Funeral going into Moonlover?
No, actually, I'd gotten some traction from Funeral, and so I wanted to record this one in a studio. Funeral and the self-titled I just did by myself in my basement, and so I took like the last money I had and I drove to Michigan to record with Josh, and I put it together in like a week.
And I've heard like originally when you were gonna press the album on like CD and vinyl, there was like an issue with like the ink delay. There's like a delay with like the ink. If you ever heard about that, it was on Metal Archives.
For Moonlover?
Yeah, like apparently like when you were trying to press it on like CD or vinyl, there was like a pressure with like a press issue with the ink or something.
I mean, maybe. I don't remember that. It could have been through, because we first put it on Northern Silence, so maybe they did, yeah. I'm not sure.
Wow. And then going to the next album, Star Mourner, in 2017. I love that album. That, funny enough, was the album that first got me into you guys. I first saw you on the 2017 tour at Decapitated and Die Hard is Murder. What was that like, going from Moonlover to Star Mourner?
Man, it was a way different process. We had a lot more time to work on it, and like I had some of the other musicians play their own parts when on Moonlover it was just me. So yeah, we just wrote a really long album with that one and took our time and had fun with it.
Yeah. And then your most recent album, Selfloather, I think is awesome. Was that just intended to be like a follow-up to Star Mourner, or kind of like a new beginning for Ghost Bath in a way?
It's kind of closing up this trilogy I was trying to do which was Moonlover, Star Mourner, and Selfloather. And so this Moonlover was kind of like tragedy and purgatory. Star Mourner was ecstasy and heaven, and then this last one is supposed to be like hell and hatred and doom. So.
All right. And if somebody were to discover you guys, should the listener listen to every album in order, or does it doesn't really matter?
I don't think it really matters. I think each album can appeal to different people because they do kind of have a different sound and a different idea behind them. So whichever one you think looks interesting, I'd probably check out that one first.
All right. So it's not like Lord of the Rings. So it's just you can listen. It can be approached from any angle.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like people to listen to the album front to back, but which order the albums you listen, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And what I love about your music, there's always like the concept of grief and depression, loneliness. Is it kind of like based off of like personal experience, or you try to like put yourself in like a mind frame?
Yeah, it's just me personally, like working through like negative thoughts and feelings, and music's the best way I know how to do that. So that's what I use writing these albums for.
All right. All right. And do you usually need to hear music in order to come up with lyrics, or do you usually have like a concept that can help influence the music more than the lyrics?
Yeah, I mean, lyrics and vocals are the last thing I come up with after like all the music's written. I wasn't a vocalist at first. Like I played guitar before I ever did vocals, and so it's kind of new to me. And I like to hear the whole song first and then put the lyrics to it.
All right. And is your music open to interpretation, or do you try to like engage the listener into what the songs are about?
Oh, totally open. I mean, this is the first album with lyrics because the last ones I didn't have any lyrics, and I just let people interpret it how they want. And I try to keep the lyrics abstract enough to where you can kind of take your own meaning from it.
All right. Can like somebody's own interpretation of the lyrics maybe and look at you differently as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, any reaction or feelings that you have are fine with me. Like I'm not gonna get mad or anything, and I don't try to direct people on what to think about me or how they feel about the music.
All right. All right. And with your most three albums, like you mentioned, was a trilogy. Is like the debut Funeral is excluded, or is it like its own concept?
Yeah, Funeral is just on its own. It was just almost kind of a proof of concept. Like I was just trying to develop what I wanted Ghost Bath to sound like, and yeah, I just recorded that one again by myself in my basement, just figuring out the Ghost Bath sound.
All right. And kind of like going into your live setting, is there like a similar energy to playing live as opposed to recording, or they're kind of like two separate entities?
For me, they're definitely separate. Recording is like a cathartic process in writing, and that's what I really enjoy to do. But then live is sort of, I don't know, everyone says we're heavier live, we have way more energy live. It's just, I don't know, I feel like it's two separate realms, really.
All right. And do you tend to also like portray a character when you play live, or is it almost kind of like an extension of your own self?
Yeah, I've been asked this before. I think it's a little bit of both, and I think it's just like a different side of myself for sure that I try to portray.
Yeah, and of course also like you've played with a variety of different bands. Like I know I saw you on the 2017 tour with Decapitated and Dired as Murder, which is more death metal, deathcore, and of course you're here tonight with Rotting Christ and Borg Nagar, which is just straight up forward black metal. So do you ever notice like a different crowd reaction depending on the tours that you're on?
Usually if we get on these kinds of tours, people are just surprised and they either love it or they hate it, and I don't know. Most of the time, people are pleasantly surprised, and they always come up like, "Hey, I haven't heard of you guys," because they don't listen to the genre that we play, and they're like, "I really enjoyed that. I'm going to look you guys up." So that's why we like playing these kinds of tours.
All right. And the final question I wanted to ask you is kind of like going back into songwriting, because I noticed like you have songs that are like 2 minutes, and you have like their longest song is like 6 to like 8 minutes long. But for you, how do you know when a song is done?
It's just a feeling. It's not like a precise thing. When I'm recording, usually I will try to do most of it in one session, and when it feels done, it's done. That's it.
Awesome. So before we go, I just want to thank you for this interview. There's just anything else with Ghost Bath you would like to promote? I know you're currently on this awesome tour right now. Is just anything else you'd like to plug?
Right now, I mean, we just have our new album, Selfloather, if you want to check that out, and we're going to try to get on some more tours. We have nothing booked yet, so if you have a chance, come out to the Devastation on the Nation.
Awesome. So everybody, Nameless from Ghost Bath. We'll see you next time.